Hello.
Hi.
It is Wednesday. Like Brittany put happy hump day up there.
Yes, it is.
Let us know where you're joining
Um,
from, whether you're on Facebook or you are on our Crowdcast channel. We want to hear from you.
I don't see that it's on Facebook.
Okay. We may just be live on. May just be live.
Yeah.
I can actually do it on my app. Let me see if I can do that, but I'm going to have to hold my phone up to do it. Oh, if I do it that way, Brittany, it won't have you on there, though. Okay.
Hi, Stephanie.
I'm going to see if I can.
Hi, Philip.
We got all kinds of good
Belinda.
people.
Glad to be back again. Glad to have you back. Thank you for coming. And while Brenda's trying to figure out our technical situation, just a reminder, we do have a support group tomorrow, too. Support groups are a little bit different than our live groups. The layout itself and the platform is all the same, so it will be on Crowdcast. Anyone is welcome. It's an open support group, so it's not for a specific program or anything, and it does count towards your insurance. So if you need, proof of anything, then we got you covered there. I just wanted to remind you guys, it's going to be really fun and different. It's a 2-hour class instead of just a 1 hour. It's on creating a vision board, so it's going to be really fun.
Yes. And I'm trying here on Facebook. We'll see if that helps. We'll try it. And if not, we'll post the video after. We'll just try to keep it under an hour. So, yeah, guys, this is kind of a fun topic. I have a couple friends that are vegetarian, and I thought, I actually was interested myself. I've not been vegetarian, but I find it really interesting, and their reasoning behind being a vegetarian. Anybody else on this call a vegetarian, or have, obviously you may have some interest in just what that means, being that you're on this call. So let us know. I'm gonna also pull up here my notes. Okay, so there's a lot of buzz over the last few years about vegetarian diets and why. And I think people choose that for different reasons. It could be, that you're choosing it because maybe it's a spiritual thing, like either religion, or maybe it's that you're just wanting to connect more with the land. It could be for health reasons. Different people have different kinds of health issues that they maybe want to focus on. So sometimes there are some benefits, but there's also some reasons to be careful if you're being a vegetarian. And we're going to be talking about those things. Some kind of, I'm going to call it golden rules to follow that I found. And it was in researching this, did a lot of research to find out information on this, and talking to our dietitian that works closely with this, Katie Chapman. So Stephanie says, I prefer to be pescatarian, but I did eat some meat prior to surgery because of my husband, but I'm 17 days post-op, not tolerating meat, so I'm happy to be whole food plant-based now. Yeah, so sometimes people just have a hard time tolerating different kinds of meat, so that might be part of the reason why choosing a vegetarian diet. There are, as far as benefits, sometimes people who eat, there's different forms of vegetarian. We're going to be talking about those, but it could be that maybe you're just wanting to use it as a weight loss tool too. If you're doing that, you also have to be kind of careful on the types of selections that you're making. So we're going to be talking about all of that. So there's different forms, pescatarian being one of them. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So vegan means avoiding all animal products fish, eggs, milk, meat, poultry, gelatin, or anything made from animals. Okay, that's vegan. Vegetarian means does not eat animal flesh but may consume other animal-based foods. And then there's lacto, ovo vegetarian, which means that you follow the same plan except for you eat dairy and eggs. Lacto vegetarian eats dairy but not eggs. Ovo vegetarian eats eggs but not dairy. Flexitarian means mostly plant-based foods, but occasionally eats milk, poultry, or fish. And then semi-vegetarian excludes some meat, usually red meat, but consumes limited amounts of poultry, fish, and seafood. So as you can see, there's lots of different ways. And I'm going to copy that down and put it in the chat box, just knowing that there are different varieties. I'd say to get the most out of your vegetarian diet, choosing healthier plant-based foods, such as whole fruits, vegetables, legumes, and nuts, and whole grains. So there are choices that are considered vegetarian, but may not be as healthy. Things like sugar-sweetened beverages, or fruits, or refined grains. So I'm going to dismiss this. Brittany, did it ever go live on Facebook?
Mm-mm.
I figured out why it didn't, but I didn't know that I could fix it. I'm going to backspace.
No, it hasn't. I just double checked.
Okay. I'm going to copy half of this. Okay. Sorry guys, it's taking me a second here. I want to copy and paste this into the chat box so that you guys kind of have, but it was too long, so I'm going to have to do it in two different little posts here. Kind of give you an idea of the different types of vegetarian, and there's more than that, as per our guest here, Stephanie had mentioned. Okay, I'm almost done. So how much protein is enough? How much protein do we need? How much protein did your program tell you? Normally it's between 60 and 100 grams. Let me know what your specific bariatric surgery program kind of recommended, or what you try to aim for, because I think that's important. Okay, Stephanie says it really depends. My program says women 70 to 90. I know too, if you have, depending on this type of surgery you've had, weight loss surgery can make a difference. If you've had a sleeve or bypass, that's probably right in the range. If you've had a duodenal switch, could even be higher, 90 to 100 plus. And there's equations out there how to do it individually, for yourself, like if you're trying to figure out how much protein, but this is a great starting point. Whatever your program recommends is typically what we recommend as well. Kind of the next thing I'm just going to talk about, or we're going to talk about, is types of protein. So protein, whether it's derived from a plant or animal food, probably has similar effects on your health. Although the mix of, and I'm going to call it amino acids, that is the building blocks that the protein is made from. So amino acids are what you get benefit from whenever you eat protein. And some proteins found in food are considered complete, and that means they contain all 20 plus types of amino acids needed to make protein in the body, while some are considered incomplete. So these incomplete sources can work well in your body, as well as being as being complete, meaning you have all these essential amino acids. But if it's incomplete, there's 9 of the amino acids that need to be consumed through your diet in order to be healthy, I guess. And those are called essential amino acids. And without going through a huge list of them, I can copy and paste what those are. But we do have a chart that we're going to be sharing with you guys, and we actually have it online. Those are the 9 essential amino acids. Brittany, I'm going to let you read some of the comments.
Sure. Says Stephanie. It really depends. My program says women need 70-90. So I think they're answering in regards to how much protein do you need. She's saying her program said for women 70 to 90 grams. And then Bobby said, I was told 70 to 80, very difficult. If you're really physically active, you need more. Yes, that's all of those things are pretty spot on. I'd say it also can depend on what kind of surgery that you've had too. You might need a little bit more protein.
Yeah. Food. I was adding to that. So, your activity level, like if you're wanting to build muscle, that can make a difference if you're being really physically active and doing some form of like bodybuilding or
Strength
weight training. Yeah. So I'm going to kind of jump on over. The next thing we're going to kind of talk about here is animal-based foods, such as meat and poultry, fish and eggs and dairy foods tend to be good sources of complete protein, while plant-based foods, fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and seeds often lack one or more of the essential amino acids that I just listed in the chat box. So those who eat those, say if you're thinking or considering on going on a vegetarian type diet or plant-based food diet, it's really helpful to know what foods can be best as far as getting those essential amino acids to make your diet more complete. And some golden rules that you can follow are ensuring that all 9 essential amino acids are met through the diet by choosing a variety of plant sources. And maybe even incorporating eggs, dairy, and soy if you feel that that's something that you'd like to do. So the one thing I will say about soy though is limiting, to 3 to 4 meals a week can be is usually what's recommended, because foods from soybeans can be unfermented or fermented, and fermented foods include things like tofu, soy milk, edamame, soy nuts, and sprouts, while fermented products include like miso, tempeh, natto, and soy sauce. Soy contains, the reason why we would want to kind of watch or monitor how much soy we're getting in is it contains estrogen-like compounds called isoflavones. And some findings suggest that these promote growth of cancer cells and can also possibly impair female fertility. So, Brittany, you want to add some things to our golden rules? Do you?
Sure. I got it pulled up.
Copy of what I had here.
Yeah. Okay. It can also mess with your thyroid function too. I don't know if you mentioned that or not, so I wanted to say that really quickly. Sorry, guys, I'm taking my vitamins.
I didn't. No.
Yeah. So it can impair female fertility, but we also had your thyroid function too, which it sometimes can be common. So a couple more of the golden rules that we would suggest is try not to exceed 20 grams of carbohydrates per meal. So that would kind of go for any of the substitutes that you have. Just try and keep it right at or under 20 grams of carbohydrates per meal. And always ensure that you are meeting your daily protein goal. And what we mean by that is definitely, even if you got to get additional supplements in there, make sure that you're doing so. It's really important to meet your daily protein goal, right, Brenda? Yeah. Actually, now is a good time to talk about our live that's coming up with Katie Chapman really quickly, too. If you guys have any questions about protein in general, we have a live event coming up with a dietitian who we have had on our Crowdcast channel before. It's Katie Chapman. That is going to be March 23rd. So it is exactly a week from now, actually, at our regular time, too, right? At 1? Yeah.
It is, yes. And I'm going to copy that and put that in here in the link so that people can see that. And I'm also going to, I also want to just say, if you follow Brittany and I on our Crowdcast channel, which I'll put the link for that too, we have the support group coming up this week, and then also next week Katie's thing, and you'll get notifications just before they start, like 10 minutes before, so that you can jump on. And if you ever can't be on a call, you can always go back, use that same link for replays as well, because we have probably now close to probably 75 replays, somewhere in there, of different kinds of content. So we have lots of stuff, and I am kind of a replay kind of gal. Anybody else with me? Like I'm not always able to catch a live, and sometimes I just love listening to these kind of things whenever I'm walking, or
that's what I do too.
Yeah,
like almost like
dishes.
A podcast or something. Yeah.
Yes, or driving, something like that. I also want to mention too, we do have on smartphones, there is an app. I'm gonna pull it up here
for Crowdcast.
Yes, so it looks like that. My lights kind of looks like that, and the little icon looks like that at the very top. I don't know if you can see it there. So kind of jumping back on as far as the golden rules. Yeah, hi Valerie.
I already said ensure you're meeting your daily protein goal.
Yeah, let's talk about multivitamins. So like if you're having problems with getting all the different kinds of fruits and vegetables, one thing you can do just to assure that you're getting the essential minerals out of your food is taking a bariatric multivitamin. And obviously ProCare Health is our sponsor, so we would we definitely promote that. We have a 1-a-day multivitamin that makes it super easy to get that, plus it has iron in it, especially if you're not getting iron through your meat sources. We'll put the link down. We're known as being one of the easiest easiest bariatric multivitamins to take, because it's just 1 a day. And then the second thing that we're really known for is the cost. It's super inexpensive, $11.99.
I actually posted the link in the chat box. If you guys have not tried ProCare's products, you can get free samples from us, and they'll send you a capsule of some kind and a chewable. Usually it's with iron, I believe 45 milligrams. So Kalinda, I want to just verify your question, because she said, what is the best? Are you talking about, or is it a combination of both of them? I'm just kind of confused by her question. I start my day with a plant-based protein drink. That's 20 grams. So Kalinda, what stage are you? Are you pre-op? Are you post-op? If you're post-op, how far out are you? It would be my next question, so we can figure out what vitamin would probably be best for you. She's pre-op. So, I myself would probably recommend our chewable. Is that what you were going to say, Brenda?
You mean if you're like fresh post-op? Is that what you're...
She's actually pre-op, but so some vitamins you can actually start taking even in pre-op. We would just recommend that you okay it with your dietitian beforehand. So ProCare Health has 2 different flavors of chewable. We have our citrus, that one's more for me personally. Or we have our fruit punch, which is still good. I know this one says iron free, but just to be clear, the fruit punch comes in all 3 different iron levels. The citrus only comes in 45, but you can try either of those, and they do offer samples for both. I would just say in the message box, whenever you fill out the free sample form, I would put, can I try the citrus or the fruit punch, like whichever one you have. But just keep in mind, the citrus is only 1 iron level, so you're only going to get that with 45 milligrams of iron. I hope that kind of answered your question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the reason I would say start off on a chewable first, Kalinda, is because most programs will want you on a chewable or a liquid form 3 to 6 months post-op, depending on what kind of surgery you had too. I would say 3 to 6 months. And then if you're not liking the chewable, you can always switch to the capsule, which honestly, that's what I prefer. But if we're talking about chewables, I prefer the citrus. I hope that answers your question. She said, yes, it did. Thank you. We were advised to start 2 to 3 weeks prior to surgery. Yeah, so you could start on either one of our chewables. I think would be a good thing for you. Just keep in mind that our vitamins, as far as our once dailies go, well, all of our vitamins, our calcium is separate because we do have iron in most of our formulas. So you would have to take a calcium supplement. And I think that's what Brenda was getting ready to say, actually. Make sure you're taking your calcium supplements too. So ProCare Health, we have you covered on that too. We have 3 flavors of our calcium chews. This is the sea salted caramel. This one's really good. The cinnamon roll is my favorite, just so you can kind of get a size comparison. So you would want to take 2 to 3 of these a day, and you would want to split them up 2 hours. So usually people take their calcium supplements with a meal because it's kind of easier for them to remember. But just make sure you're separating it from your multivitamin. Where do I get these? I will send the link. I'll pull it right now.
Oh, thanks, Brittany.
You're welcome.
And also on our ProCare website, the handout that we're going to be sharing is on there too as well, which I'll show you here in a second too as well. We have a whole chart of a vegetarian-based diet. And guys, honestly, I find it interesting that even if you're not doing a vegetarian-based diet, knowing where you can get the most protein out of some of your vegetables can be super helpful. Like when I was researching this, I was so amazed at how much protein is in some of the vegetables. And you're getting, when you're pulling from all of these different food groups, you're getting such value out of what you're eating and what you're putting in your body. So something to think about. And whether or not you're eating totally vegetarian or eating, meat alongside that, drinking plenty of water is super helpful. So make sure and carry your water bottle along. I know that that's just a reminder, just every day, just to kind of remember. If you carry your water bottle along with you, it makes it so much easier to remember to drink. The other thing I want to just say, Brittany's got hers too. So the other thing is when you're eating plant-based, making sure that you're feeling satisfied. And if you do get hungry, maybe watching the amount of food that you eat, like between meals, portion size, and making sure it's not, because you can eat a vegetarian-based diet at a restaurant and it be filled with a lot of fats and cheeses and things like that have a lot of calories in them, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not contributing that to your overall goal of whatever it is, and you're doing that all the time, being consistent with it, it can lead to weight gain. So, Brittany, did you have anything to say in between there before I jump on to what a meal? Okay. She has herself on mute, so the background noise, but, next we're going to kind of talk about, an infographic. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and I'm going to pop off here and share, and I'm going to go up to our ProCare website. Can you see that, Brittany?
Yes, I can. Sorry, I was typing out and I didn't want you guys hearing me. Because no matter how quiet, no matter how quiet I try and be, you can still hear it. So I just mute myself.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I have, so I wanted to kind of jump onto our ProCare website. When you click on, or if you go to procarenow.com, that's where you're going to find us. And this little link here will show products. So you have a list of products, delivery methods, procedures, press. Here's the button that Brittany was talking about for free samples. There's a whole bunch of resources, including blog posts. And here about us, under this very first tab, is called support groups. So when you go to that, I just want to kind of click on there, and we share on a lot of different topics. So any handouts that we are kind of doing for any of our other support groups are listed on here. We are going to go down to the very bottom of this list because it's this last one that we did. I don't mean to make anybody dizzy here. This one right here, vegan protein sources. So I got it open already here, and it's an infographic, so it's a little large, with sharing the screen. So I'm going to make it kind of big, and we're going to talk about different classes of different kinds of vegan protein sources. So the very first one is nuts and seeds. We're going to talk about legumes. We're going to talk about soy products and vegan meats, fruits and vegetables, grains, non-dairy. And also we're going to talk about this blue-green algae. So I'm going to kind of go back up and I'm going to try to make my screen a little bigger so that you guys can see it pretty good. Is that better? I hope. So nuts and seeds. So the little star here that you guys see right here are things that it can contain all 9 of the essential amino acids, those building blocks that your body doesn't necessarily make on its own, and that is very helpful to get from foods. So one of the most powerful here is chia seeds and hemp seeds. And you can see, I mean, they actually have quite a bit of protein in those. I mean, 9.5 grams here, 6 grams here, that's for 1 ounce, okay? And some of my favorite to add in is flax seeds. I also love
sunflower seeds.
Yes.
Oh, and pumpkin seeds.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really the season for those, but
soon.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this, that it's, if anybody's never made their own pumpkin seeds, it's really good. You should try it. It's super easy. It's something kind of fun to do if you have kids too, because they like getting in like to the pumpkin and getting all the guts out.
And there's some that's not listed on here, but things like so I have a more full list: almonds, pistachios, cashews, walnuts, hazelnuts, pecans, squash seeds alongside the pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. We took on here, it's listed flax seeds, chia seeds, and then also some non-fat dairy products might be even considered in with that. So we are going to move on, and meaning like pea milk, or if you decide to have milks, it's just kind of funny. Almond milk, some of those kind of things.
What did you say though?
Pea milk. There's such a thing. I'm not kidding. That's probably not a nut, but it's. I was just like, what? Yes.
I'm gonna have to Google that.
And then the next thing, one of my favorite ways to get proteins from, and then feel like I'm also getting kind of like a carbohydrate, I'm going to make this really big, is legumes. And some of my favorites are these that are listed here, black beans, pinto beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, lentils, just regular peas. I also have here like edamame, soybeans, things made from soy, such as tofu or tempeh, and peanuts. So the peanuts I would list more under the nuts and seeds. The list that I found was listed under there, but you're talking 8 grams, for a half a cup. So that's quite a bit for right there in that. And if you combine like some of your beans with some seeds, for a meal, then you have almost 20 grams, in your diet. Next, we're going to kind of move up to soy products and vegan meats. Okay. Here we have tofu, tempeh. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Seitan, Beyond Meat, meatballs, Impossible Burgers. Those kind of, they're kind of like protein-based, plant-based meats, I guess. Anybody try any of those? I know we recently did a link or a blog on our plant-based meat alternatives healthy. Let me grab that here while we're kind of doing all this, and
I got it right here.
Oh, you do? Thanks,
Yeah.
Brittany. Okay.
You're welcome.
Oops, I went off sharing my screen to my other screen.
Oh, I didn't notice because I was in the other one.
Solid jump. I'm used to changing screens frequently.
So, before we move on, I wanted to say something really quick. Do you mind?
No, go right ahead.
So, in the blog, we kind of touch on this too, and I just want it to be. So, I don't know how to say this, but I guess I'll just come out and say it. So, I feel like there's some kind of idea that Impossible Burger or meatless or plant-based meat is somehow more healthy for you, and that's not exactly the truth. So, just make sure that you are, really looking at the nutrition labels. In fact, still, even if it is a plant-based meat, because some of those can have just as many calories as the regular thing. So someone in the chat just brought up that Burger King has a Whopper with the Impossible meat. And if you look on the nutrition facts of like a regular Whopper compared to the Impossible meat Whopper, there's actually not really much of a difference. So, just kind of keep that in mind. I just wanted to caution people, because even myself, I don't know, Brenda, if you felt this way before or after reading that blog, I really felt like I had learned a lot, because for some reason, plant-based meat alternatives, I always thought that they were a healthier option, but that's not really the case. So some are, some aren't.
Really and truly, with most foods, if you just are able to read the nutrition label, look at your fats, your proteins, your sugars, your carbohydrates. All of that will help you make a decision. If you have questions about that, macros, maybe that's something we do a whole program on, is macros, because I kind of feel like macros are those things that I just mentioned, proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and sugars, that kind of make up your whole list. And it looks like Michelle says Impossible Burger line has a lot of fat. The others, like Boco Burger, are much leaner. So
yeah. So they're not all plant-based meat alternatives are created equal, is I guess the warning I'm sharing with you guys. I'm not picking on Impossible Burger. I'm just saying that there's some that are definitely have better benefits than others. And it depends on what you're looking for in your diet, too. Some people do want a higher fat content. Some people want a lower carb content. It just kind of depends on what fits into your lifestyle, too.
And it's about a balance. Like, let's say you're wanting, like, for one meal, you're having something that's very low in fat. Your next meal, maybe you're wanting something higher in fat. So it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of balancing out throughout the day so that you're getting what you need overall.
And I've tried those Boca burgers, and they are actually pretty good. I've tried the chicken ones too, like the fake chicken patties, I think is what they are.
Yeah, the hospital that I used to work at used to have a plant-based burger sometimes, and I thought it was really good. My husband, who is all about meat, we raise cattle,
probably
so
he's
all about meat.
That's my husband too.
Yeah.
Zach would be like, no, get that out of here.
Oh, Lord. Well, I'm going to share my screen here again, and I'm going to go back to this chart here, and we're going to talk next about fruits and vegetables. So you can actually get protein from your vegetables. And I was surprised. I don't even have it on this list, but the other day I was adding into my little app the foods that I was eating, and peas. I was really surprised. Peas actually have quite a bit of protein in them. But here are some listed: broccoli, sweet potatoes, artichoke, spinach, bananas, blackberries, guava. And it's not a ton of protein, but it does add to whatever you're having. If you have a meal where you have black beans and you have quinoa along with maybe some tomatoes or some cauliflower broccoli, you're likely going to be able to get it up to, it's balanced, but you're also going to be able to get up your protein values to, 20 to 30 grams of protein by kind of mixing and matching a little bit between these groups. Okay, I'm going to go on here to grains. So there's a couple in this group that are considered essential, have all the essential amino acids, and that's quinoa and buckwheat, and actually pretty high. Hemp seeds are 9.5 grams. They are like the leader there in that group. But anybody else have anything they want to say about grains? Because there's probably grains in here that I missed that may be some favorites.
We do have a question. I just want to make sure that you saw that. It says, can you guys recommend an app for us to download and use to help tracking food and vitamins? How can we look at this slide afterwards? I'll post the link for what she was just sharing with you, because that is on our website under the support group handouts. But to answer your question about like an app I would recommend, so I'll answer and Brenda can answer because we might have different ones. Me personally, I like MyFitnessPal because I'm just really familiar with how it works, and my trainer put my macros in there so I know what I'm looking for, and I can kind of like tailor what I'm eating to what she has already put in there for me. So for example, I think she has me at like a really high protein content. So that's my first thing that I try and do is I try and focus on protein, because everything else kind of just like falls in line, if that makes sense. So I like my Fitness Pal. Now for bariatric patients, there are actual ones that can help with tracking your food and your vitamins. So Brenda, I'll let you answer that part.
Yeah, so one of my favorite is, it's called Bariatric. You
Oh, I
can
need to
kind of
grab
see
that
it.
for you
It's
too.
right there. Oh, Bariatric. And I'm going to open it up, and this is what it looks like. You can see I have a bunch of stuff in there right now. What I was doing earlier, Brittany and I are getting ready to host we're so excited. We are getting ready to host a whole series of stuff on recipes. We're going to be doing 4 different segments. We're actually renting an Airbnb in St. Louis and staying there next week from Wednesday through Saturday, I guess. And we're doing a video shoot during that period of time to be able to post videos of what we're making, because I think it's so much easier to remember instead of just posting. We've done a lot of recipes, guys, on our website too. We have lots of recipes on there, but we're going to be doing a lot of demonstrations. So we're hoping to bring that forward. We're going to be hosting some of those in our support groups and also hosting some in our live events. But the Bariatric app I was using to plug in all the ingredients. So like one of the things that we're going to be making is a certain type of strawberry cheesecake protein shake, for example. And I went through and I listed all of the ingredients in this app. And basically what it does is it like tells me how many proteins, how many net carbs. And then it has a little graph that shows macros. Macros meaning fat, carbs, and protein, so that you can see how you want to balance it. That may not be important to you, may not at all as far as macros, but some people are interested in that. So that's what I like using it for too, to plug in ingredients and find out like how much a whole recipe is. And one of the recipes we're doing is brownies. So there's 9 servings. So then you just divide that by 9 to get your total, and they have a ton of different products in there in their database, so you can use the scanner. So that's one of my favorite. And I am going to go back and jump back on the screen here for the very last here. We got a couple more here, non-dairy milk, and also I'm going to be talking a little bit about this blue-green algae here. So non-dairy milk, Brittany, here's the pea milk that I talked about. Soy milk, pea milk, almond milk.
I was like, she has to be making that up, or she got what's the word?
Confused?
She got punked or something. Somebody tricked her. No, it's right there.
It's there. It's there. So, and there's all different kinds of non-dairy milks too, like almond. Gosh, I should have probably just looked up a list of them before coming on. There's a ton of them out there, but so you can get your milk products through that too. So like, let's say you're having a little bit of dairy, well, non-dairy, you're having a little bit of milk in a protein shake. So you're adding grams of milk alongside your protein shake. And there are protein shakes that you can find that are completely, I guess you might call vegetarian or plant-based. The last thing I want to say here is this spirulina powder, and I'm probably messing it up here a little bit, but to me, it is like a superfood. It has 66 grams of protein per 1 serving. We don't carry blue-green algae. I would just do a Google search. I think some health stores probably necessarily carry that, maybe even places like Walmart or Walgreens and things like that. Just kind of got to check it out. But that can be a great thing to add into smoothies, to add into other food products to get, such a high content of really good protein. Basically what it is ground up seaweed. Anybody else try that in any of their products? Let us know and tell us what you're interested in trying. So I'm gonna downsize this?
Do we have one more question? I don't mean to interrupt, but
No,
I
it's
want to.
okay.
So it's either Sherry or Shari. Um, she said, I need a low oxalate diet. Soy-based products are moderately high in oxalates. I need a non-meat protein source low in oxalates. So no soy or no tofu. Any suggestions? So I did just a quick search for you while Brenda was talking, and I did find a list, but I just want to say that I would probably double check with a dietitian if you have one at your program to see if there's anything else, because what kind of makes your case a little bit more difficult is so all of these, they do have protein in it, but it's not protein packed. So for someone like you, it's going to be extremely challenging to get your protein in. So I would definitely talk to her about supplements too, like protein supplements that would fit that diet. That way you can get more bang for your buck. So as a bariatric patient, you know, 80% of your stomach is removed. So part of the way or the reason that you lose so much weight is you're restricting how much you can eat in one sitting and how many times a day, usually two. So my concern with your diet is we want to make sure that you're getting as much protein as possible in what meals that you are able to eat. That is in that low diet. I hope that makes sense. I don't think it is. No. Brenda, I don't think it is.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say that I'll copy and paste that link so you can take a look at some of these if you want. But yeah, definitely talk to your dietitian because she might know of a protein powder that fits that need.
And I'm looking here. Brittany. One other thing I want to just say, some other foods that are not necessarily completely, I guess, vegetarian, or I should say vegan, because vegetarian,
no meat.
Vegetarians include eggs and dairy, but vegans contain only animal products that avoid all animal products. So one other thing to get essential amino acids is foods such as eggs and dairy. So those who are lacto-ovo vegetarians, as well as, so the essential amino acid list contain quinola or quinoa, buckwheat, hemp seeds, chia seeds. But eggs and dairy would be one that's really high in protein that may be helpful if you're not going completely, where you're avoiding all animal products.
And some supplements can have animal byproducts in them too. So I did kind of want to say that while we're talking about it. We might have someone that might watch this and wonder if our supplements are vegan. So they're vegetarian, but they are not vegan because of one of the vitamins that we put in, the type that it is. It does come from we don't actually kill an animal for it, but it's an animal byproduct is technically what it is. So that still that's not considered vegan, if that makes sense.
So you'd probably want to look at the packaging and the label and the ingredients to be able to find out exactly, if something meets your needs or it doesn't, basically.
But being vegan can be really challenging, man. Mm-hmm. I had a couple friends that did it, and they could barely find anything that didn't have some kind of animal byproduct in it. I mean, even like shampoo, conditioner, chapstick, things like that even have animal byproducts in them. It's crazy. Makeup.
Yeah. So I hope this was helpful to everybody. Anybody have any questions before we pop off here? I found it myself intriguing, and honestly, for even a non-vegetarian or non-vegan person like myself, it still helps to know the content of protein and stuff, because I mean, so much of our diet as a bariatric surgery patient is focused on, protein. Or even for you, Brittany, you've never had bariatric surgery, but, you've been becoming a lot more physically active with our trainer who's been helping all of us, and just focusing on protein in your diet for that reason.
I would say anyone who is looking to have a healthier lifestyle, protein's probably going to be one of the first things that your brain is going to think about, or it should anyway, because that's a big piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm. So.
Alrighty. I don't think we have any more questions, but I always do this at the end, or I'm starting to do this at the end. I'm going to go ahead and share my email in case anybody has any questions. Feel free to reach out, whether it's about ProCare Health, whether it's about your surgery, anything under the sun. You could even ask me what my favorite color is, and I'll reply.
I'll put mine on there too, Brittany.
Yeah.
That's about either one of us or both of us, either way. We love you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of our community, and
Thanks,
we
Bobby.
love you all. Yes, thank you so much. And if there's anything interesting that you'd love to hear about topic-wise, we have lots of new things planned, lots of new speakers coming up. And I'm going to just invite you all to, I'm going to copy and paste this.
That's so sweet. Thank you for what you guys do.
Yeah. I just feel like people showing up is just a sign of them being on this journey and being interested in knowing as much as they can for health, because it's an ongoing thing. And the more you hear and the more that you know, it just helps support your growth every day, because consistency is so important. Every day is a new day. You can start out, and it shouldn't always be black and white. Like I'm not doing good on my health journey, or I'm doing bad. It's that kind of mindset is not helpful. It's about staying consistent every single day and being able to continue doing the things, whether you have a bad moment, you eat a bag of chips or whatever. Not that that's a bad thing. Sometimes we need the salt. I'm just saying, like, being consistent on your journey, moving you towards where you want to go, as opposed to, always seeing things as kind of like good or bad, because sometimes our body needs salt, sometimes it needs certain things. I
actually stole this. Well, I stole it from your vision board.
Oh,
I saw it and I was like, that is perfect. I love that. So like I said, we're doing a support group tomorrow, and we're going to be creating a vision board. I'm really excited. Tonight I need to get my supplies ready because I have not dug out old magazines and that kind of thing. But I'm really looking forward to it. So, but Brenda had made one and she shared it with me. And on there, it was a really prominent quote that I think fits in this community very well. And it's surround yourself with people that have the same mission as you. And that's kind of what these whole lives and support groups are for. So I'm really happy that we had some new people join today. That's great. And now you guys know about it. So we would love to have you tomorrow.
Yes. And I think, Brittany, what I want to do with that vision board class is everybody that makes one, sending us their vision boards, and then we post it on social media.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Yeah. Yes. And we can still keep it anonymous. We don't have to tag anybody or anything, but just a picture would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's fun to share your vision with other people, whether you, like Brittany said, whether you want to share it as being yours or just share it, so that people can see. Because to me, this is what the vision board is about. It's not about all the physical things that are on there. It's how we feel on an everyday basis, and being happy about what we're creating in our life, being intentional, because wherever you put your focus is what you're going to see more and more of. It's like it's attracting the life that you want to see and you want to be. And vision boards are it's actually something that's been around for years and years and years. I've done multiple of them. This last year, I actually did another one that was kind of made. It was a shamanic practice where me and my friend did a fun little exercise where we actually made a gift I'm going to call it gift to the universe, but it was a gift to show the things that we appreciate and are grateful for. And it puts that out there into the world to bring you more of the things that keep you happy emotionally, and mentally too, because the physical things are just a representation of something that we want, because something deep inside of us wants more of whatever that feeling it gives us. So hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to end here, and we just want to thank everybody, and we hope to see you on more of our calls, and we wish each of you the best. I hope this information was helpful. Check out the ProCare Health website, where you can find more resources, lots of blog posts and everything. And I want to thank every single one of you that went out there and posted, and we thank you too for everything that you're doing out there. It's a ripple effect you guys share with
Definitely
your people and your community and your families. So
all right,
love you.
Okay. We'll see you guys later. Okay. Brenda, I'm gonna call you after we hang up because I have a couple questions. Okay,
sounds good. Okay, bye everybody.